That's very true.
Okay. What's interesting is I don't know which screen it's recording, but it says it is recording. My name's Scott Zimmerman. I'm here today talking with my good friend Josh Price from LoCo CrossFit down in Leesburg, Virginia. And today I was just going to ask Josh a few questions about his experience in working with me and my BoxJammer team and our systems. And Josh, I wanted to thank you for being in on the call today. And I wanted to let the audience members hear from you about any money you're making from this conversation and giving me your story.
None. No money. Just doing this for a good referral for Scott.
Thank you. Can you tell them a little bit about your situation down in Leesburg with your market situation as well as your rent with your facility?
Yeah, absolutely. So I live in Leesburg, Virginia, which is outside of Washington, D.C. So we're faced with a couple of interesting disadvantages, issues, whatever you want to say. Number one is our rent is extremely high, even in industrial areas, because the city is not set up with industrial parks or any of that. There's actually only 2 in the entire city. So the space actually sells more as flex space around the $12 to $14 range instead of the traditional industrial space, which can be, $3 to $6 or whatever. So already our rent is double what most CrossFit gyms deal with if they're in a traditional industrial area. Our second is our traffic flow. We're in a bedroom community and almost everybody commutes to DC, which means that a typical drive that might take 30 to 45 minutes is taking generally an hour and a half or more. So attracting commuters and stuff like that makes it really hard, even with our 5 a.m. class and our 7 p.m. class. It is really still difficult to get a lot of the normal people that a CrossFit gym would attract into our space.
And can you share with them, because I know you've been open, about 5 years?
Yep, we've opened for 5
Can you share a little bit of the difference between the number of qualified leads you get each month today versus maybe 4 or 5 years ago?
When we first opened, it was like the floodgates. Here in Leesburg, everybody had been waiting for a CrossFit. So our first probably 2 years, people were just pouring through the door as they found out that we were there. Our third year, things started to slow down. And then last year was the first time we started running any type of Facebook advertisement or anything. We used the New You Challenge that many affiliate owners have used. This last year, we kind of went back to just word of mouth and not really doing much marketing at all. And I mean, it's slowed down to a trickle. We're probably only getting 3 to 5 leads a month. So retention now is extremely, extremely important to us because of that well going dry or I don't know. We also kind of changed the business a little bit, and we're now looking more for who we can help most. So the people that used to pour through the door that were already in shape, basically they're already here. So now we're looking at a new market, which is great. It's fun because it reinvigorates the box looking for these people.
Who are these people? Can you give me a description of who you're going after now?
More middle-aged, overweight people that probably they need us more to get back in shape, to get healthy, to be around for their families. And it's that group of people that you almost have to show them that they need your help as well. It's almost like this comfortability factor that you kind of have to overcome. Maybe they express it to their husband or wife, but it never comes out into public. So as we show more of our own people that look just like them, came from stories just like them, I think we've begun to attract more of those people. And the funny thing is, that's who lives in Leesburg. It's all middle-aged, married couples with kids out here. So it should have been our demographic from the beginning.
Okay. Can you share with me a little bit about how the consultative sales process that I taught you and your coaches is working very well with that particular demographic of people who otherwise may have been intimidated or scared away of CrossFit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the sales process for us has gone through really probably 3 changes. At first, you walked in and you were like, "Here's my money," and I was like, "Oh, thank you. Let me take it." And you just started CrossFit. Then we went into what we call a prescriptive model, where we'd sit down, really listen to the person's goals, and then prescribe some solution that would get them to their goal, whether it be personal training, CrossFit, mix of the two.
And I just want to interrupt there, because that prescriptive model comes from Two Brain Business Coaching, which is a company that specifically helps box owners and affiliate owners build systems and predictability and predictable profits within their boxes. And you were not only a great client for them for the last few years, but you also have worked your way up to become one of their mentors. So you are also helping other box owners achieve and maintain profitability. And that's where the predictive sales model came from.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And then what Scott brought in and everything was, it's almost like another layer to this prescriptive model. And that's really sitting down and talking to the person, getting past just the goals, but getting to the why, and really understanding and knowing that person's story, where they are, where they've been, and where they're going. And I found that that conversation is just, it's amazing. By the time you finish that conversation, you really know the person. When you prescribe or just offer your solution for that person, you really feel that you're offering what they really need. It gets you past just this is our fundamentals course, this is our onboarding process, and get you into, no, this person actually really needs personal training and nutrition, or this person really just needs nutrition for a while and to get on a rower or a bike and get some aerobic capacity built up. And you can make that authentic recommendation to that person, knowing that you're offering the very best thing for that person. You're not just offering what you would offer anybody who comes through the door. I really believe that you can do that and you feel obligated, almost more than just obligated, like charged with the responsibility to offer, because that person has just really bared their soul and where they've been, and you have to do your very best for that person. So I think it's made that part easier, making the recommendation to the person easier, because you're just like, look, this is what you need, and
I would say that Chris Cooper's prescriptive model was almost putting you in the position of like a doctor and a patient, where you wanted to get to learn about them so you could prescribe the right combination of exercise and nutrition. I think that layer you mentioned that I'm bringing to the table is a little bit of psychology too.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of psychology to go just a little bit deeper. It helps you in any other conversation that you ever have with this person. If they hit a plateau, if they want to quit, if they're trying to find a new goal, anything, you can go back to that original conversation and almost have it again with that person and say, okay, well, what are the changes now? Now, your present has changed. Your future has changed. What does that new future look like, and what do you want next? And I think that's a really powerful conversation, because you go from, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, well, we've lost 20 pounds. You're watching people do muscle ups. You're watching people do, explosive lifting. And now that's completely available to you. You've leveled up as it were in video games, and now we can take you to, um, the next level of anything you want to do in your life.
Yeah. Has this deeper sales process for you and your coaches impacted you financially?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Um, we've increased, really our PT sales. We used to do a lot of, fundamental sales and everything, but now, which is usually like a 6-pack of PT teaching, um, the movements and everything. And now we're selling a lot more, 10 packs, 20 packs, of PT with nutrition, which was always really important to me that we would do. But like it wasn't really happening. And I think because we were afraid. So I know in October, it increased our onboarding from, I think it was like generally about $1,800 a month to over $6,000 in October. And then November, we were at 4,000. So it's a little bit less, but that's more of a lead thing. That's still higher than the 1,800 that we were doing for our general, onboarding packages. And then I don't have the numbers for December at this point, but, you can see that it's made a pretty big impact.
And tell me a little bit about how you're using my system to share this information with all the other coaches. So no matter who's with that member or client, they still feel important and they still feel cared for. Tell me a little bit about how that's working for you.
Yeah. So we take down all the information, give it to our Joy Girl. Our Joy Girl then puts it, into the software. And then, the software plays in our back room. So basically any coach at any time can go in there, kind of get briefed up on, who has what goals, what are they trying to, achieve. They can also look on, their mobile device, and look at who's coming to class and then get a good brief up on everybody before they come in, which is really,
Right.
really nice. You're keeping track of it right there within, the confines of the coaches. So all the coaches are on the same page.
Yeah, I always thought it was important for every coach to know who every athlete is and what their why to is, their long-term play and their next goal, and then also be able to see what the other coach has recommended for that person so you can remain consistent and also make that member feel important. Is there anything that you would like to close with that maybe you would want people to know either about me or my values or my philosophies, or maybe why somebody might want to take a call with me and go through my process?
Sure. Yeah. I found that, Scott is really, an ideas guy, and but he's an ideas guy that can take action. He can sit there, break down your problems, come up with solutions, fairly quickly, sometimes too quickly. And you're like, I think he had a cheat sheet available, but who cares if you have a cheat sheet or not? It's pretty awesome, to get that kind of level of service and everything so quickly. His heart is really in, functional fitness and helping, middle-aged men and women, like I said, the group that we're really going after now, to overcome their struggles and everything, like he himself overcame and will tell you about, if you jump on a call. So absolutely recommend, a call. 15 minutes, 30 minutes. It's not going to be wasted time. You're definitely going to come away with something.
All right, Josh. Well, hey, thank you for the conversation, and I'll be talking with you soon, buddy.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, take care.